It's a windy Saturday afternoon just off the harbor. We got a softball doubleheader coming your way. Live from the UMass Boston softball field, the Beacons host the Panthers of Plymouth State. My name's Milton Posner. Thank you so very much for tuning in here to the LEC Network as the Beacons take the field. The lineup is going to look a little something like this behind starting pitcher Bree Melchionda. Britt Perquette, Christina Panagiotopoulos, Sarah Harlinski in the outfield from left to right. Around the diamond, same deal, left to right. Haley Tilbury, Kaylee Bruce in the flex position today, as well as playing short. Sydney Sandin manning second, and Jordan Toomey atop the bag at first. Behind the plate, catching Melchionda is going to be Tam Landry, and they will have Amari English in the designated hitter spot. The lineup she's going to face breaks down more or less like this. Leading off, the second baseman Lauren Archambault. Second, the left fielder Vanessa Bryan, followed by the number 3 hitter Emily Picard, the catcher. Then the right fielder and center fielder, as well as the designated player making up the 4 through 6 spots. That would be Mia Lee, Jade Girton, and Sarah McCann, And then rounding it out, the first baseman Madison Harris, the shortstop Nia Colby, and the third baseman Katie Burke. About ready to get things going. It's Archambault to lead it off. This is a Plymouth State team coming in 9-14 overall, but an even 3-3 in conference play. Good for 6th place in the Little East. UMass Boston coming in 15-9 with a 5-3 conference record, good for 4th. And they have a good chance to pick up their 6th conference win here today as Melchionda fires over strike 1 to get us going. And Melchionda is the reason they have that chance. This is a pitcher who is throwing rather well in the month of March, but has found an altogether separate gear as she fires high and away to Archambault, 1-1. She enters this game on a streak of 21 consecutive scoreless innings. She has thrown complete game shutouts in her last 3 starts. That's over but low for a ball. The first one was a no-hitter, tossed against Western Connecticut State back about a week and a half ago. She has been nigh untouchable in April. Strike 2, and the count is even. She gave up 3 earned runs in a start against Rhode Island College on April the 2nd. Since then, she's been almost perfect. The dust kicks up a storm as the pitch comes in, and the count is full. The wind blowing in hard toward about right center field right now. It's picking up a lot of dust, sending it over down the right field line. That Archambault needed to clean out her eyes a minute. 3-2 pitch home. Low. And it's going to be a walk anyways. Landry scampers to grab it. So the walks have really been the only issue for Melchionda during the stretch of what's otherwise been pretty dominant for her. In those last 3 games, she gave up only 4 hits, mind you, across 21 innings, but did walk 6 batters. That said, it's 6 walks against 32 strikeouts, so you got to be happy with it. Squaring to bunt and tipping the pitch foul is the number 2 hitter, Vanessa Bryan. So Archambault with a walk. She has stolen 3 out of 4. And with the number 2 hitter showing bunt, the corner's pinched up a little bit. Particularly Tilbury at third. Crashes hard, and it's bunted foul, 0-2. For Melchionda, it's been heat and a little bit of finesse. The no-hitter she threw, the 4th in program history, the first one since 2017 when Jess Greenspan pulled off the feet. Ball 1. Melchionda working very quickly. Was rain in the forecast for later this evening, but it looks like we should be able to play clean through. So it's shifted a little bit. That one slapped into short right field. Running it down is the second baseman, Sandin, for the first out. Now it's on to Emily Picard, the senior. I'm going to combo catcher designated player for this squad. And starting in the catcher spot today, takes ball 1. Fastball at the knees for a strike. 1-1. Infield playing a little shallow. Looking perhaps for the double play. UMass Boston has been solid at turning the double play, third in the conference. Swinging through it, runners on her way to second. The throw down is off the bag, and the runner is in there. 4th stolen base of the season for Lauren Archambault. And a runner in scoring position right away for Plymouth State against Melchiondo with 1 out. Maria Melchiondo has lowered her ERA for the season down to a preposterous 1.09. The whip is below 0.9. That one dug out, fouled away, out of play, strike 2. Melchiondo, 80 strikeouts on the season. She's got more strikeouts than the rest of her team combined. In fact, she's almost doubling up their combined number. She has been that good, averaging more than 10 strikeouts a game in the month of April. Popped weakly to short, diving try, it's gonna get through. It's an infield single. That one fisted off the hands, just out of reach of the diving shortstop, Kaylee Bruce. And now with 2 runners on and 1 out, we move to the cleanup spot for Mia Lee, who has in so many ways been the catalyst for the offense this season. Best slugger on the team. She's knocked in more runs than anyone on the team, more extra base hits than anyone else, batting .373 on the season, and takes strike 1 from Melchiondo on the first pitch. Lee, the freshman, first baseman, combo outfielder, getting the start today in right. Off speed, in there, strike 2. And the change of pace can be so effective for Melchiondo when she gets the fastball established for a strike. Only the best hitters can really barrel her up at that point. Dust kicks up, the windup comes, and a pitch outside for a ball. One and 2 the count. Excuse me, 1-1 rather. Tipped foul, and now it's 1-2. Lauren Archambault from first. Emily Picard from first. Archambault from second, Picard from first, rather. Pitch comes home, way behind it is Lee. And that's the first strikeout of the game for Brie Melchiondo. This is what the power pitchers do when they need to get one past you. They rear back and light up all the fuel in the tank. Fastball, strike 1 to the number 5 hitter, Jade Girton, the freshman outfielder out of Burrillville, Rhode Island. Having a respectable enough season, hitting .255. She's driven in 8 runs across the 20 games she has appeared in. Swings through that one, though, and the count 0-2. And Melchiondo, after walking the leadoff hitter and then seating a hard luck infield hit, is looking to power her way through the rest of the inning. And she does. Called strike 3 sends us to the first break. Couple of strikeouts and a couple stranded. At the end of half an inning, no score. Britt Perquette to lead it off for UMass Boston takes ball 1 in the dirt. She'll be followed by Haley Tilbury, the third baseman, and Sydney Sandin, the second baseman. The rest of the lineup behind them: Amari English, the designated player, Bree Melchionda in the pitcher spot, Christina Panagiotopoulos roaming center field, Jordan Toomey, Tam Landry, and Sarah Harlinski, the first baseman, catcher, and left fielder, round out the bottom. They'll be going up against Nicole LeBrun, sophomore out of Concord, New Hampshire, runs up, bunts foul. LeBrun, the team leader in most of the pitching categories, appeared the most, has thrown by far the most innings, 54 of them on the season, with a 2.33 ERA. Run up is the pitch. Pitches that are close to the dirt as well, combined with the wind, they're kicking up a lot of dust. So you can expect the hitters are going to have some trouble with this. You can expect that the catcher, for that matter, is going to have a little bit of trouble. Little chip shot, nice roving catch over there by the shortstop, Colby, for the first out. Dust is coming over. It's getting pretty much everywhere at this point. It's blowing toward the bulk of the people out here at the Diamond today, including us. We're over right behind the plate a little bit toward the first base side, immediately to the left of the dugout. LeBrun fires home, ball 1 to Tilbury. The defense behind her goes down this way. It's Vanessa Bryan in left, Jade Girton in center, Mia Lee in right. Around the diamond, Madison Harris at first, Lauren Archambault at second, Nia Colby at short, Katie Burke at third, and Emily Picard catching LeBrun behind the plate. Sam McCann in the designated player spot today. McCann also shoulders a chunk of the pitching load. She's had 19 innings this season. One of the team's better hitters as well. Tilbury pokes that one foul and out of play. LeBrun winds, comes home with the infield playing in, and Tilbury chops another foul ball off to the same spot. Haley Tilbury Having a pretty good hitting season, has been one of the more consistent hitters in the UMass Boston lineup. Takes outside for a ball. Transfer from Fisher College. Played a couple years of softball there. Played a year of basketball, though she didn't play much. Focusing on softball now. And slaps that one. Diving try, but it's through into left field. And Tilbury's got the first outfield hit of the game for either team. And here comes UMass Boston's closest thing they've got to the big bopper. Sandin swings through the first one. She's leading the team in average and hits, slugging, on-base percentage, runs batted in, and doubles. Second on the team in walks, runs, stolen bases. Firmly ensconced in the 3 spot now. Chips that one foul, though, and she's quickly down 0-2. Sandin, the only UMass Boston hitter with a home run this season. Hit one when they were down in Florida. It was the season opener against Westminster. Back on March the 14th. 0-2 pitch from LeBron. Outside. A gutsy take and ultimately the right take from Sandin. One out, runner on first. 1-2 to the number 3 hitter, Sandin. That pitch in the dirt, nice stop by Picard behind the plate to keep Tilbury at first. Tilbury has stolen a bag this season. She's also been caught twice. High and away, another nice snag from Picard there. The wind picking up a little bit, it's gusting. And the top layer not staying put. Sandin chops another foul ball off to the left. And the umpire's going to need some fresh softballs. So Sandin goes down 0-2, takes a couple of balls, keeps fighting. Chips another one foul. And so Sandin continues to battle. 3 two-strike foul balls here. And refusing to go quietly. And takes the walk. 5th walk of the season for Sandin. She's making Nicole LeBrun throw some pitches. Could be a real asset here. Melchionda needed 23 pitches to get through the first. But she also had a day off from her last start. She came on Thursday. LeBrun pitched yesterday. In fact, pitched rather well yesterday as Amari English down 0-1. LeBrun tossed 7 innings of 1-run ball yesterday. In the first game of a doubleheader against Rhode Island College. In fact, the first doubleheader that Plymouth State has swept this season, conference or not, as English swings and misses at a high one. Count 0-2. So 84 pitches for LeBrun yesterday. And less than 24 hours later, back she is to the pitcher's plate. Now in the same situation that Melchionda faced, 2 on, 1 out. English takes a ball. English batting in the cleanup spot. And already with a chance to, well, clean up. Swings through another high one there, and down she goes. It's that high fastball for 2 of the 3 strikes. And now Melchionda with a chance to help out her own cause. Hitting from the left side of the plate. And takes strike 1. Melchionda has been a solid hitter this season. Team leader, or tied for the team lead with Sandin, I should say, in doubles. But behind that one, and the Beacons, much like the Panthers in their half of the inning, struggling to catch up with the fastballs right from the jump. Another 0-2 count. LeBrun comes home. And another ball. Two on, 2 out. 1-2 pitch makes it a 2-2 count. Christina Panagiotopoulos, the center fielder, on deck. As Melchionda fouls that one into the screen. Another 2-2 offering. And a take. 3-2 the count. And the runners are going to get a head start. It's getting increasingly dusty here. 3-2 pitch. And another foul. Seven pitches into the AB now. And the Beacons, a day after LeBrun threw an 84-pitch complete game, are really making her work in their half of the first. Melchionda pops that one soaring down the left field line. 3 fielders converging, and it's the shortstop, Nia Colby, to make the catch. So both teams put some traffic on the bases in their half of the first, and both pitchers work their way out of trouble. No score after 1. Welcome back to the Dust Bowl. The score is 0-0. And in the top of the second, it is going to be the designated player, Sam McCann, to get us going, followed by Madison Harris and Nia Colby. They'll step in against Brie Melchionda, who seated a couple of base runners that struck out a pair to end the inning. Season high for strikeouts this season for her is 14. You can believe it. And that game, it proceeded almost like clockwork. 1 in the first, 2 in the second, 2 in the third, 2 in the fourth, 2 in the fifth, 2 in the sixth, and 3 in the seventh, if you wanted a little bit more symmetry. She's really been showing off, and she is, don't want to say single-handedly, you don't want to discount Emily Doble's pitching this season, but has really made a difference in a way that only the best pitchers in softball can. McCann, bat held high. Oh, badly fooled by the off-speed pitch, and down she goes. Third straight strikeout for Melchionda. I mentioned she's coming into this one off of 3 straight shutouts. And that means she's making an assault on a couple of program records. Madison Harris steps in 207 average on the year. 1 extra base hit to her name and takes a strike on the inner half. The program shutout record is 5 in a season from Annie Thomas in 2016. Way out in front, and another swing and a miss for Harris. 0-2. Now, during that season, Thomas also mounted a streak of 27 consecutive scoreless innings. You're defining scoreless as no earned runs. That pitch low, nice stop by Landry. 1-2. Melchionda comes into this one with 21 consecutive scoreless innings. Make it now 22 1/3. That one's slapped down the right field line. It is fair and rolling to the wall. It's a 1-out double for Madison Harris and the first extra base hit of the game for either squad. Comfortably out of the reach of the right fielder, Sarah Harlinski. And more traffic on the bases for the Panthers in the early going. And now it's Nia Colby. Second on the team in walks, but otherwise has not had a particularly good season at the plate. She squares to bunt, pulls back, takes strike 1. That first pitch fastball for a strike has been the constant. Pretty much every hitter that Melchionda has faced so far. That one low. Harris on second, not much of a threat to run. But she's not going to need one. She's not going to need much more asking than that. On her way to third and making it safely on a passed ball for the catcher, Tam Landry. And now it's a runner on third with 1 out. That one gets through Landry as well, but not as far. Staying put is Harris. For Harris, that was just her second extra base hit of the year for a player in her 11th start. So finding it at the right time against a difficult pitcher. Outside. And so Colby reaches on a walk, which is the one thing she has done brilliantly this season. And with the runners on first and third now, the Panthers have them cornered. With 1 out still, the batter is Katie Burke. And Natalia Ardagna is coming to the mound, wants a word with her pitcher. Or maybe just wants to discuss a game plan here. It hasn't just been that Melchionda hasn't seeded runs in her last 3 starts. It's just how rare heavy traffic has been. Panthers getting to her in a way that the previous opponents did not. Emmanuel Didn't really get a shot at her. But Southern Maine, Keene State, particularly Westcon in the no-hitter. A hit by pitch and an error on the second baseman, the only thing standing between that no-hitter being a perfect game. And now Katie Burke in a big spot early on. Squares to bunt, pulls back, takes strike one. The throw goes down to second. Safe. Nia Colby swipes her third bag of the year. The force at second is off. And with a 0-1 count at the plate here, Katie Burke has a chance to plate two with a base hit. Ground ball back to the pitcher. Melchiona, and they got the runner hung up. A big second out. The runner at second cannot advance. It's first and second with two out. And you talk a lot about productive outs. That was an actively counterproductive out. The ball got to Melchionda before Madison Harris could do much of anything. Not really her fault that she got hung up. That's just the wrong spot. Now we're back to the top of the order, and Lauren Archambault. Runners on first and second with two out. No one count. Popped up. Over toward the side. Out of play. Pitch high. 2-1. Fastball, ball. Can Melchionda escape the jam again? Line drive, right field. It'll hang up for Harlinski. And a lucky third out sends the Beacons back to the dugout unscathed. Christina Panagiotopoulos, first pitch swinging, and that one's going to drop. Base hit makes its way past the second baseman Archambault, and a leadoff knock for the center fielder. Jordan Toomey to the plate now. Had a rough start to the year, but has gradually been bringing the average up, but that's not going to do her any favors. Pop bunt right into the first baseman's glove on the first pitch of the AB. And now it's Tam Landry. It's got a little bit of a curious stat line, does the junior catcher. Somebody with only 7 hits on the season. This is her 18th start. Only 7 hits. She's hitting just 179. She's got 3 extra base hits, though, and 2 of them are triples. So make of that what you will, I suppose. But she takes strike 1 on the first pitch. Swings through the second. Foul tipped it into the mitt. Always squares to bunt and pulls back. Takes ball 1. One-two pitch. Oh, just missed, and that's a very close one. Panagiotopoulos leading from first, has stolen 3 out of 4. Landry smacks that one in a shallow center field, moving back on it and making the grab as the shortstop Colby for the second out. And now it's Sarah Harlinski hitting out of the 9 spot with a .348 batting average. She's top 3 on the team. Slugging, on-base percentage, average. She scored more runs and swiped more bases than any of them. Little swinging bunt there, and she almost beats it out on speed alone. But that's going to be the third out. No score through 2 innings here from the Harbor. Vanessa Bryan, Emily Picard, Mia Lee, the 2-3-4 hitters for Plymouth State in the top of the 3rd inning. Against Bree Melchionda, who has lasted through trouble in the first 2 innings, thrown 37 pitches, and immediately seeds a clean knock up the middle. Bryan waiting on that first pitch fastball, and Melchionda's been throwing for a strike so often. And that is the question. How does everyone adjust the second time through the order, given that the first time through the order they had a half-decent beat on her? Squaring the bunt, getting it down, and that's going to move the runner over, is Picard, as Tilbury fires to first for the out. And now it's Mia Lee, one of the dangerous hitters in the lineup, with a runner in scoring position and only 1 out. Wind still blowing hard toward the right field line, picking up loads of dust along with it. Fastball high. right over at the chest. Lead digging in. 5'8", decent-sized strike zone. Melchionda finds it with the off-speed pitch right at the knees. Well, that one smacked down the right field line, but it's hooking out of the reach of the first baseman, Toomey, and out of play. Beacons coming into this one off of a doubleheader sweep at the hands of Emmanuel with a combined 15-4 score. This following a conference split with the University of Southern Maine. They have outperformed expectations to this point in the season. Preseason poll had them finishing next to last in the conference, and they have a winning record both overall and in conference play so far. At a sweep of West Con, a sweep of Keene State, but the big test is going to come later on. Toomey with a basket catch on the run on the foul pop. And Melchionda 1 out away from the end of the inning. The wind blowing that one a little bit toward the dugout. Not exactly sure if it helped or hurt there. Jade Girton now. Big secondary lead for the runner. Vanessa Bryan at second. Melchionda comes home. It's low and away for a ball. Girton hitting .255 on the year. She's driven in 8 runs. You can see her choked up a couple of inches on the bat by default. It's popped foul for another strike. So Melchionda has not had the put-away power that she showed in the first and that she's been relying on throughout this stretch of dominance. See what she can call on here in a tight spot. A little bit high, and it'll go for another ball. On drive, socked, and another catch on the run from Toomey sends us to the bottom of the third. Still no score. Britt Perquette leads it off, dribbles that one foul up the line, trying to bring it with her. The count 0-1. Perquette getting the start in left field today. Missed some time with an injury a little bit earlier in the season. Was expected to be a big offensive leader in her senior season, still working her way back into the flow of things. And the average is going to reflect that. 5 knocks, none of them for extra bases, across the first 10 games she's appeared in this season. And now waging battle with Nicole LeBrun to set the table. Takes a couple steps up and takes a strike while she's at it. Strike 2. LeBrun comes home, little poke job off to the left, and the count will stay put. Plymouth State coming into this one off their first doubleheader sweep. Came over Rhode Island College to move them to 500 in conference. And another ball to Perquette. Beacons have struck out a few times, but they're making LeBrun work. Well, swinging chopper, this one's going to be tough. There's going to be no play. And Perquette flying down the line to ensure herself an infield hit. And now it's Tilbury. The Beacons have a leadoff hitter on and a chance to do some damage with the meat of the lineup due up. Tilbury with a hit her first time up. In fact, the lone Beacons hit of the day so far. On deck is Sydney Sandin, who walked her last time up. Tilbury smacks that one back into the screen. Perquette on first base has stolen 2 out of 3 this season. And as you saw a moment ago, certainly has the wheels. The corners. That would be Madison Harris at first, Katie Burke at third, pinched in. Tilbury swings through the next pitch. There goes Perquette sliding around the shortstop. She had to take a little question mark kind of route to get there. The shortstop was pulled into the base path because the throw was off by about 5 feet toward the first base side of the bag. And now the catcher's going to get looked at. Emily Picard still down to both knees after the throw. And this does not look good. And Picard gets to her feet, but it looks like she's going to come out of this game. Not sure if this is an arm or a leg injury, but either way, not looking good for a team that's just lost its catcher. Picard, one of the better hitters on the squad this season, has played in just about every game, has started roughly 2/3 of them. Being checked out in here, and there may be a swap. It's going to be Abby Kennison, the sophomore, who will take her spot. For Kennison, this is her 14th appearance. She started pretty much every game that Picard has not. But she'll enter in as a defensive replacement. So the first substitution of the game, unfortunately, comes as a result of injury. We will see about Picard's condition. We may see her in the second game, we may not. But the Beacons with a runner on second now after Perquette's steal. And Tilbury still at the dish. Takes another ball. So LeBrun adjusting to the new battery mate. Still the Dust Bowl continues. Squares to bunt. This is going to be a tough play for the third baseman. Got her. By the slimmest of margins, Katie Burke throws out Haley Tilbury. And Perquette moves over to third with one out. And now Sydney Sandin with a chance to drive home the runner. Sandin swings through the first pitch there for a strike. One pitch, low, ball one. You know, folks, we're over here, right? We're right behind a chain link fence, and we're doing more or less what the players have been doing these last little while, just stopping every so often to rub the dust out of our eyes. That one is belt high and over for a strike, 1-2. And this is the chance the Beacons have to score the run without needing a hit necessarily. Sydney Sandin can fly the ball deep enough or ground it to a spot where an infielder is going to have a tough time making a play. But she swings through it, and another strikeout for LeBrun in a big spot. We'll leave things up to Amari English with a runner on second. Excuse me, a runner on third and two out. English struck out her last time up, but has been on a tear lately. It's raised an average to a little over 280 after struggling a bit to start the season. 4 doubles to her name as well. Oh, and lays off the high one. Those are the pitches that doomed her in her first at-bat. Was not able to catch up to the high heat. Remember, English 5'10". They've got a big strike zone. And lays off another one as it sails a little higher than the last. 2-1. When she gets ahead like this is when the pop can start to show. Another high one. 3-1 the count. Big 3-1 pitch here from LeBrun to English. The fly ball, left center field. Tracking it down in the gap is Vanessa Bryan, and that'll bring the third inning to a close. No half inning has passed without a base runner, and still no score. Melchionda's first pitch floats high for a ball to big Sam McCann. Part-time pitcher, part-time first baseman. 6-footer standing there in the box and takes ball 2. McCann, the pitcher, has been hit or miss this season with an ERA of a little over 5. McCann, the hitter, has been a little bit more solid. .268 batting average. Respectable walk numbers. A few extra base hits thrown into the mix. Melchionda winds and fires. High. She started off, Melchionda did, with a little bit more control than she's shown in the last couple of innings. And has allowed the patient hitters in the Plymouth State lineup to work her into deeper counts. Another ball. Oh, no. Late strike call. And still she continues to work. 24 scoreless innings in a row, and sprayed foul there at the plate. Will do it again. Another pitch to McCann. Smack down the line. Foul. And out of reach of the sprinting Harlinski. Punched out. Melchionda finds the zone and McCann lets it sail past. Madison Harris to the dish now.
Now batting number 22, Madison Harris.
This is the tall part of the Plymouth State lineup, and I mean that literally. The 6-foot McCann, followed by the 5'10" Harris. And the wind, you can probably hear it on the mic head, really starting to gust now. Still blowing out toward right field. Or the right field line, more aptly. Pop in the mitt. Strike, says the ump. For Melchionda, that was the 3rd strikeout of the game. Off-speed sails high. Look, she didn't quite have the release point she wanted on that one. It's turned into a pitcher's duel, albeit one where the hitters have not been particularly inactive. There's a ground ball past the diving Sandin into right center field for a base hit. Madison Harris on with her 2nd knock of the game. Gonna have a pinch runner at this point. Katie Montalongo is gonna run for Harris. And replace her batting 7th.
Pitch running at first base, number 6, Katie Montalongo.
Nia Colby Swings and misses at strike one. The runner out there at first base, the pinch runner, Montalongo, you see why she's the pinch runner. Swiped 5 out of 6. So Tam Landry got to be on her heels here. There goes the runner. Landry's throw down to second is a good one. Oh, she's dead to rights at second base. Another assist for Tam Landry. And for the first time today, the Beacons might have a chance to deny the Panthers a runner in scoring position in a half inning. We have seen traffic throughout. We have not seen a 1-2-3 inning from either pitcher, capable though they have been. That line drive sprayed foul past the Beacons dugout. And Colby in a 2-strike hole. They didn't wait long before testing Landry. And Landry, who had been stolen on once in this game already, was not about to let it happen again. UMass Boston has not always been the best at shutting down the running game, but in flashes, it has worked for them. Landry looked like it maybe took one off the inside of her shin on that one. She shares a laugh with her coach. Wind and the dust still very much a nuisance as the wind starts blowing a little bit more toward the first base line now. Oh, punched out on the inside half. Melchionda finds the zone and finds the third out along with it. 5 strikeouts on the day, and we're through 3.5. Still no score. Halfway home on the first of 2 from the Harbor. Bree Melchionda takes the ball, and here we go. The bottom of the 4th inning. Beacons looking for their first run of the game. Madison Harris back to first base. She was pinch run for in the last half inning. As Katie Montalongo was thrown out trying to steal second. Ground ball, hot shot, right center field, and a knock for Melchionda to get things going in the bottom of the 4th. Christina Panagiotopoulos. One of 3 Beacons with a hit today. I'll make that 4 now. Had a knock very similar to Melchionda's her last time up to lead off the inning. Swings through that one though. And quickly down 0-2. Melchionda with a big secondary lead there and ultimately returns to the bag. Beacons badly in need of a run here. Off speed high. Without the sort of slugging ability that some of the other LEC teams have, UMass Boston's only real option is to string base hits together. Panagiotopoulos tips that one back into the fence. They have not managed to string the hits together. They've got 3 of them. They've got a walk as well, but have not gotten a runner to third base against Nicole LeBrun. Panagiotopoulos fouls that one. Oh, and a nice barehanded catch by a gentleman back there. Dog leash in one hand. Softball in the other. Caught it with a non-dominant hand, too. Got to give props for that. LeBrun comes home, and Panagiotopoulos broke the wrists. Down she goes. And Jordan Toomey to the dish now. Popped a bunt into the first baseman's glove her last time up.
Now batting number 23, Jordan Toomey.
Takes high, ball 1. Melchionda has stolen a base this season, but that's all she's tried. As Jordan Toomey fouls that one back into the screen. Has not been a whole lot of balls hit in the air for either side, particularly for the Beacons. Not been elevating the ball much. Most of the hits they've had have come on the ground. Toomey a little bit out in front of that one, just does get a little piece. 1-2 the count. Off speed, outside, ball 2. Beacon squad trying to be competitive in the LEC, and their head coach Natalia Ardagna has said the way you do that, in large part, you got to have an offense that can hang with some of these teams. The Beacons have, and I mean, you can see it today, they've been struggling a little bit in that regard. They're not top half of the LEC in just about any offensive category. It's the pitching where they've made the biggest impact. As Toomey pops that one into shallow center, it's going to fall off the glove of Colby, but they get the force at second. Melchionda had to just about stay put. And so it'll be a fielder's choice for Toomey.
Now batting number 6, Tam Landry.
And now Tam Landry. Takes a big hack through that one and comes up empty. Off speed in there. Strike 2. And LeBrun, after the leadoff hit, has pitched pretty solidly. Didn't get the release point that she wanted on that one and bounced it about 5 feet in front of the plate. Swing and a miss, and down goes Landry. Down go the Beacons in the bottom of the 4th. The pitcher's duel continues. A scoreless affair through 4 innings. To the ground ball back through the box. Sandin tried to backhand it, but reaching is Burke to lead off the inning. The problem has not been base runners. Neither pitcher to this point has tossed a perfect inning. But still no runs on the board, and only a couple of runners have gotten to third at any point. We're going to have a pinch runner here. Alyssa D'Alessio coming in for Burke. No stolen bases so far this season for her. This is not a case. Excuse me, there we go. This is not a case, as it was with Montalongo, of a more regular player, regular substitution coming in a pinch run. D'Alessio has had only 14 at-bats this season. Has appeared in 10 games, started only 6 of them, make it 11 games she's appeared in now. And as the bunt attempt goes foul from Archambault. So both coaches trying to play small ball in their own way in a game where runs have been about as hard to find as Bigfoot. Bunt up the line. The first baseman Toomey to the second baseman Sandin covering. Advancing to second is D'Alessio. A lot of freshmen on this Plymouth State roster. D'Alessio is one. And they're calling her back now. Look, there was a late foul call, it looks like. Appears as though the ball was still on the chalk line when it was picked up. You can see you can still see the spot where the chalk is smeared where Toomey picked it up. Yeah, not sure about that one, but. Oh, and a back pick almost there as Toomey's coming up. There's no one to cover the base. They might have gone down to first otherwise. But so the sack bunt taken away, Archambault. They get another chance to do something here. Squares again, harder bunt this time. It gets past Toomey. Melchionda's got it. Flip not in time. Throw back to second, can't backpick the runner. It is first and second. And so after a close foul ball call, winds up being a bunt single as a moment of indecision between the first baseman Toomey and the pitcher Melchionda are enough for Archambault to reach. 2 on, nobody out. Bunt goes up the line, and Tilbury wisely going to let it spin foul for strike one. It had a hard time at the lead runner with the bunt situated where it was. Batter's Vanessa Bryan, and she's got decent enough speed. Sophomore utility player. 0-1 pitch. She squares again and can't get enough of it. The count 0-2 now. Melchionda comes home with the 0-2. Ground ball to the shortstop. Bruce goes to first. The runners advance. First out is recorded. And now Abby Kennison, who subbed in after the injury to the starting catcher, Emily Picard, will get her first turn with a bat in their hands. She's got 1 base hit on the season, 18 at-bats. Has scored a couple of runs, though. Tam Landry going out to talk to the shortstop. Not sure what's going on here as Alyssa D'Alessio's over by the dugout chatting with a coach. It's the interim head coach Mike Bernier in his first season at the helm. He's wiping off the area around her chin and her jaw. I'm not... She may be cut right now. It's hard to tell from here. Not sure when that would have happened. Don't know that she's had to slide this inning. But either way, Archambault at second, D'Alessio at third, 1 out. And in her first at-bat of the game, Abby Kennison, with a chance to break the scoreless tie in a big way, a base hit here to the outfield, can comfortably plate 2 runs. Both runners with speed. There's a ground ball to second. Coming home and not in time is Sydney Sandin. D'Alessio scores, and the Panthers finally put a run on the board. They lead it 1-0 in the top of the 5th. Sandin got aggressive, and the throw was a strong one, but did not have enough time to get the runner coming home. It looks like another substitution here for Bernier and Plymouth State. Rachel Parslow, the junior outfielder, going to run for Abby Kennison. Melchiondo with a 1-run seated. There's a bunt. Toomey shovels home. Slide to the back of the plate, and in there is Archambault for another run. And so twice now, UMass Boston goes for the hero out at home, and twice they are unsuccessful as the Panthers tack on a pair. And Melchionda's scoreless streak, should be noted, has ended at 25 1/3 consecutive scoreless innings on the back of 3 consecutive shutouts between April 5th and now. And Plymouth State, a team that offensively speaking is, if not exactly, then generally comparable to UMass Boston in any number of stat categories, is ultimately the one to do it. Slapped foul and out of play on the first pitch to Jade Girton, the center fielder. You know, if it's, you have the butterfly effect here, it's tough to say, and you don't want to say, and you understand infielders being aggressive. The 0-1 pitch is low for a ball. 1-1. But if Sandin goes to first, at that point, you don't have runners at the corners anymore with 1 out. You've got runner on third base with 2 out. And UMass Boston, knowing that a force out at first ends the inning and wipes the run off the board, as that's another one low for a ball, 2-1. But when Sandin goes home, it's a little bit late. Now you've still got one out, so that fosters the circumstances where Toomey tries to make the same move rather than going to first. Hence 2 runs when you can easily see the alternate reality where they gave up only 1. It's a little unfair to play what-if games, to be sure. And you do like the aggressiveness on some level. Another pitch from Melky on the floater high. Smack to third. Tilbury hesitated a moment. Got her at first. Well, Mike Bernia really wants a timeout here for some reason. Wants to talk to the umpire across the diamond. It was a very close play at first, to be sure. He's pointing over at first base as if to say that is the base where the play happened. The most he can hope for at this point is to try to get the base umpire who's calling that over from the opposite side of the diamond to confer with the home plate umpire and decide to change the call. But remember, regardless of who the crew chief is, and it looks like that's what's about to happen here, but regardless of who the crew chief is, it's the base umpire's prerogative to make that call. Only he can decide to overturn it, and they will opt not to. The out call stands. So Tilbury thought for a moment about trying to go for a tag or a shovel to third base to get the lead runner and went to first. That was that little hesitation that made the play close. And ultimately, she just avoids getting burned by it. Now it's Sam McCann with runners on second and third. There's a ground ball back through the box. It gets into center field. 2 runs will score for the Panthers on her way to second, and out at second base is McCann. But not after a 2-run single doubles the lead. It's 4-0 Plymouth at the end of 4.5. Katie Burke back into the game at third base after a D'Alessio pinch ran for her in the top half of the frame. And Plymouth State finally broke through. finally undid the stalemate. Burke singled up the middle, pinch ran for. Ground out. And then a fielder's choice for an RBI. Another fielder's choice, this time on a bunt. And then an error on the shortstop, Bruce, as the ball trickled into center field and 2 runs came home. Now UMass Boston's got a 4-0 hole to dig their way out of. It's the 9-1-2 spots in the order: Harlinski, Perquette, and Tilbury. For head coach Natalia Ardagna and a Beacons team that's suddenly eyeing the diminishing number of outs they have to play with. Down 4-0. Harlinski runs up, takes a strike. Beacons badly need some offensive muscle here. Slap hit to the third baseman. And that's as easy an out as Harlinski's going to give you, as the first baseman Harris just kept her foot on the bag. More an issue of balance, it seems, than anything else. And now back to the top of the order and Perquette.
Now batting number 4, Britt Burkett.
Little chop shot ranging over and making the grab is a third baseman, Burke. So Burke retires Burkett. And now it's Haley Tilbury with nobody on and 2 gone. So 4 runs over in the top half for the Panthers, 2 of them earned. Melchionda's scoreless inning streak snapped at 25 1/3. Tilbury fouls that one off. That one at the navel, but a little bit outside for a ball. LeBrun winds and fires, ground ball under the third baseman's glove and through the shortstops. Not that they would have had a chance from that far out anyway. But another base hit for Tilbury. She is 3 for 3 today. Really been the lone cog in the Beacons offense that has dominated against LeBrun. Getting any number of ground balls with eyes, if you will. And when smacked, elevated in a shallow right center field, but an easy third out. Through 5 innings, 4-0 Plymouth State. Couple defensive switches for the Beacons here in the top of the 6th. Kaylee Bruce has exited the game. Remember, she had that error that allowed the 2 runs in. You can see her replacement there as Sydney Sandin makes the play. Sandin moved over from second base. Haley Tilbury, who was at third, has now slotted in for Sandin at second. And Kaylee Ruggiero has slotted into third. So the infield now looking like this, third around to first, as the first baseman Jordan Toomey grabs it. Let's start with her then. Toomey at first, Tilbury at second, Sandin at short, Ruggiero at third. We also have a replacement behind the plate. Catching Melchionda now is Ali Dayuti. So a lot of substitutions for Natalia Ardagna with 6 defensive outs left to make up a 4-run deficit in our doubleheader opener. That one socked into shallow right field, making the catch easily as Tilbury. And a quick 1-2-3 inning, the first of its kind today for either squad. Nicole LeBrun back to the hill for the bottom of the 6th. She has held the UMass Boston Beacons in good check. Just 5 hits and a walk across the first 5 innings has comfortably kept them away from home plate. Don't believe she's allowed more than 1 runner to third base either. I mean, if you want a masterclass in how to scatter hits. The wind picks up and so does the dust again. After a brief, I don't want to say a respite, it was still going, but at least the severity was down for a little bit. Now it's picking right back up again. Kayla Ruggiero. Takes ball 1. Ruggiero, she's moved positions, she's moved roles, spots in the lineup a little bit due to performance, due to team need. She nods, she takes outside. She's a senior utility player, 5'4" out of Southbury, Connecticut. Hitting .225 on the year. And currently with an 0-2 edge, or excuse me, a 2-0 edge. Hacks it foul, 2-1. 2-1 pitch. Pop up. Ranging over is the first baseman Harris to make the grab. And Bree Melchionda, after ceding 4 runs, 2 of them earned in the top of the 5th inning, with a chance to get on base and give her team a chance to get some of them back. They have not hit anything all that crisp off of LeBrun in a little while. Oh, and the dust is really picking up now. The umpire just calling for a brief moment. It's really getting in there now. Yeah, and the umpire just giving everybody a moment. This is starting to get really, really hazy. Not sure to what extent you guys can pick it up on your screens, but it's getting everywhere here. Melchionda swings through it, and down she goes on 3 strikes. 3 pitches, all it took. It's the first time that the umpire has stopped play to let the dust subside a little bit. Now Christina Panagiotopoulos. Pitch over mid-thigh for a strike. And LeBrun's starting to really bear down as the game goes. The control has been even improved from where it was at the start. And remember, this is her 2nd start in as many days. 84 pitches yesterday to get her through 7 innings of 1-run ball, 4 strikeouts against the anchor women of Rhode Island College. There's a couple of wins, including a 6-0 win over the anchor women that put Plymouth State, gave them their 8th and 9th wins overall in the year, their 2nd and 3rd conference wins. UMass Boston coming into this one with a 5-3 conference record by virtue of having played and won a couple more games than the Panthers. Both of these teams got something to prove. As Panagiotopoulos takes a walk to bring up Gabriella Messier. Hitting in the lineup spot originally spelled out for Jordan Toomey.
Pinch hitting for the Beacons, number 8, Gabriella Messier.
So it's not going to be a perfect inning for LeBrun after all. The walk to Panagiotopoulos. And Messier hacks that one into the back fencing for a strike. That one slapped over toward the bullpen, ricocheting off the fence. And the Beacons still, very little has been barreled for them in this game. Closest thing they've had to barreling something is the dust kicks way, way up now. 1-2 count. Closest thing to barrel they've had have been a few sharp ground balls as Messier hacks it back. Another foul ball, still 1-2. You know, there was rain in the forecast a little bit for this morning and a little bit for tonight at one point. And looking at how dusty it's been out here, honestly, it might be preferable. The one time anybody around a softball field's praying for rain, I suppose. That ball's up the middle. Messier's got herself a base hit. But the rain completely out of the forecast until 8 p.m. tonight now. And now it's Ali Diuti, having entered as a replacement for Tam Landry to take some swings. And that'll be it for Nicole LeBrun. Sam McCann, who started this game as the designated player, will come on the pitch when we come back. Couple of substitutions here going at it in a big spot. Ali Diuti of the Beacons stepping in against Sam McCann, who started this game as the designated player. Diuti's been big for the Beacons this season, even though she's fallen off some from a hot start to the season. She was hitting above .550 in March with 3 extra base hits. April has not been as favorable, just 2 of 17 with no extra base hits. So which Ali Diuti are we getting here with 2 on in the bottom of the 6th? So far it's 1-2. 1 out in the frame. Excuse me, 2 out in the frame, my apologies. Ball 2. Pitch from McCann, swings through it, down goes Diuti, and the Beacons strand another pair. 8 runners left on base for UMass Boston. We go to the final inning. So the 7th inning we've arrived. Lauren Archambault, Vanessa Bryan, and presumably Abby Kennison. Well, there has been a lot of playing around in substitutions there from the Plymouth State head coach, Mike Bernier. You can't exactly blame him for the way he's been using the pinch runners. It has worked well for him. Remember, particularly heavily in that top of the 5th inning when they scored their 4 runs. And their speed, which they have a lot more variance in speed. They are not as speedy a team as UMass Boston is in terms of the typical starting lineup. But some judiciously used subs. There's a ground ball to the third baseman. Ruggiero fires across the diamond to get Archambault for the first out. But with the pinch runners they used, came in handy. A couple of moderately close plays at the plate that with slower runners might have been outs. And so here we are. 4 runs on the board for the inning that turned into a nightmare for UMass Boston. And now Melchionda trying to do all she can to keep the deficit at 4. There's a line drive single into left field by Vanessa Bryan. And it's going to be Paige Beatty, the pinch hitter. She's got 4 singles in 9 at-bats this season, 1 stolen base to her name. Wiry outfielder, catches occasionally. Squares to bunt, bunts through it, back pick at first. And Diuti can't quite hose down Vanessa Bryan. Bunts through it again Diuti looking down that way. There's a complex little choreography bit the Beacons are doing right here because you've got the third baseman Ruggiero, the first baseman Toomey coming crashing down on the bunt. Any back pick then is going to the cycling second baseman Haley Tilbury, who started this game at third. So ground ball to Toomey, handled nicely. Steps on first for the out, throw down to second, not in time. The speedy Bryan makes it down to second and avoids the double play. Good fielding from Toomey. So with 2 outs and a runner on second base, Plymouth looking for a little bit of added cushion. And it'll be Maya Lee trying to drive home the runner from second. Popped foul along the right side, 0-1. Lee's 1 of 3 with an RBI today. Well, Melchionda has struck her out once. Off speed, nice stop from Diuti to keep the runner where she is. With most of the hitters in each of these lineups right-handers, it makes it harder for them to take advantage of the wind that's clouding their vision. They're not pulling the ball. Pretty much everything they are hitting is going to get pulled down and shoved towards first base, regardless of where they hit it. Another good stop from Diuti. Runner on her way to third and in safely. Lee ducked down, but she's 5'8", and in that critical moment where there might have been a play, emphasis on might, Diuti, who's only 5'2", didn't really have much of an angle to throw over Lee. Strike 3 called, and the runner stranded at third nevertheless. Last chance for the Beacons in the bottom of the 7th coming up. Last chance for the Beacons. Harlinski runs up, misses it for strike one. It'll be Harlinski. And gotta be honest with you, it's a little tricky to figure out the lineup at this stage. Harlinski with Perquette to follow, and then Tilbury. Should anyone reach, Sidney Sandin. Swinging strike three for Harlinski, and she has not had the game she'd like to remember. Normally a very good contact hitter who can earn infield singles off of her speed. It's not to be for her in the first game today, and now Brittany Perquette takes ball one, excuse me. Infield corners pinched up. That one skips by. And Perquette instantly locked into a very favorable count here. Beacons badly in need of base runners. With a book closed on Nicole LeBrun and on Melchionda, assuming the Beacons can't make this comeback, here's the way it looks. LeBrun 5 2/3 scoreless innings, 6 hits, 2 walks scattered, 5 strikeouts. For Melchionda, 106 pitches through 7 innings, 4 runs seeded, 2 of them earned. And Perquette now has a full count. Strike three. Back-to-back strikeouts for Sam McCann. And the Beacons down to their last out.
Now batting, number 3, Haley Tilbury.
Ball one to Tilbury. Strike one to Tilbury. Just a reminder, we got a game 2 of the doubleheader coming up. Should be about 15-20 minutes after this one ends. As Tilbury fouls that one off. 0-2 now. Same website you're looking at. It's a different link on that website, but you should be able to find it pretty easily on LittleEastTV.com. 0-2 pitch. Tilbury chops it foul. Ball to Tilbury. 1-2 now. Sam McCann has not been allowing much. Comebacker off the glove of McCann. Tilbury will, oh, she won't reach. Ooh, and that is a badly blown call at first base. Apologies, folks. I'm normally not going to be that blunt about it, but she had that thing beat by half a step easy. So Haley Tilbury, a very hard luck last out, ends the game. 4-0 win for Plymouth State. For the first time in 10 games, the Beacons are shut out. They fall to 15-9, they fall to 15-10 overall. 5-4 in conference play. Plymouth State gets their 10th win of the season and 4th in conference play. We are going to sign off here. We'll be back with the next game on the same website in just a few minutes. Say probably about 15-20 to be is typically what we'd see here. Thank you very much for tuning in. We hope you stick with us for the second half. I'm Milton Posner. Thank you for joining. We'll be back soon.